Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to talk about orgasmic manifestation, transform your life with your sexual energy. And I wanted to share this very special moment with you because I have it here in this box, my new book, and I haven't seen it yet. Oh my God, it feels like a birthing process. It's kind of like that, I think, not that I've ever had children, but you know, this conception, the idea, and then that idea becomes a Word document, which then becomes a manuscript, then a proof copy, and then now I'm going to see the results of all this hard work. Hard work from a formatter, graphic designer on the cover, my own proofreader, and myself as well, all my ideas, all my hard work. Anyway, let's get this open. I've been waiting. Wow, I got this morning and I still haven't seen it. So yeah, whew. I'm kind of nervous because it's that feeling of, you know, I don't know if you know about this, but I'm quite nervous about this because I read the book so many times and I had a proofreader, and I'm really nervous that I'm going to open it and then see a mistake that I hadn't spotted before. Yeah, but I think also it's important to let go of perfection and just let this book be out there and do its thing. So let's see. Open. Ooh, it's heavy. Okay. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh my God. How cool is this? Oh my God, I love it. It looks so nice. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I'm loving it. Oh my God, I love it. Anyway, that's the book. Pleasure is your power. Manifest your dreams with orgasmic energy. So this is now for sale on Amazon, on all the Amazons. There's a Kindle, a paperback and a hardback. I'm going to get the hardback in a few days. And I wanted to share a little bit about this, what is orgasmic manifestation and how it has changed my life. I must confess that I'm a little bit afraid. I'm going to put this away so I get more comfortable and I can get into it. So orgasmic manifestation is something that I discovered back in 2018 and it has completely changed my life. I credit orgasmic manifestation to all the improvements that I've had in my life over these last 7 years. And I talk about how I discovered this in the book. And I think sometimes when we are... oh my God, I'm kind of nervous right now. So, orgasmic manifestation is also known as the O method or sex magic. I think online and on social media, the term the O method is getting the most traction as it doesn't alert all the alarms, let's say. So, orgasmic manifestation is, for example, when you indulge in self-love practice, masturbation, or even sex with a partner, instead of just focusing on pleasure and connection, all of those beautiful things, you go one step beyond and actually focus on your goals. Because if you believe in things like energies and things and chakras and connection with the universe, divine connection, then the point or the moment of orgasm is a very magical moment when doors can open. And it feels like there is a moment when we are truly present. We're not thinking about, I need to check my phone or blah, blah, blah. We're just really in the moment. It's a magical moment for many, many reasons. So I actually discovered this practice back in 2018 in a moment of real desperation. And it's interesting because when we hit rock bottom in life, these are the moments where we can really learn and bounce back and really, think about how to improve, unless you're a masochist, of course. But it's interesting because a lot of people make big breakthroughs thanks to moments of crisis and hitting rock bottom. Because when you hit rock bottom, the only way is up, and that's how it was for me. So back in 2018, I remember I was living in this tiny apartment, which if you look back at my videos back then, sometimes I was just with a white background and nothing else. But I was actually kneeling. On a cold floor, and I had a shopping trolley, and I had my phone resting against that, and it was all. I wish I'd taken a bit more photos of that apartment, because it really is a reminder to myself of how much I've evolved, how much I've grown. And at that moment, I didn't even have a sofa. I didn't have a table to sit at and eat my dinner. I didn't have a pillow. I was always cold or hungry, or cold and hungry. And I was living in a penthouse apartment, and the insulation in this apartment was really bad. It was non-existent, so I was always freezing, and I had to switch on this tiny heater if I wanted to have a shower or get dressed or something. So I was always like, oh my god, I have to take my top off. It was really difficult. And I was I was very, very lonely. It was a very lonely time in my life where I didn't really have a solid friendship group, and I'd just gone through a kind of friendship breakup with someone who I had considered one of my best friends in the world, and then our friendship just kind of disintegrated, and that was very, very painful for me. So at this time of desperation on many levels, financial level, loneliness level, just discomfort in general, I actually, I had a group of friends who had a vegan dining group, and at the time I was vegetarian, but I really connected with these people because I've always felt like the odd one out for not eating meat. And they had a dinner planned on a Friday night, and I really wanted to go, but I was thinking, oh, can I afford the menu of €15? I'm literally paying €15 for a meal at the time, which is really good price actually, was something that felt like a bit of a risk for me. But I thought, what's more important? Because also at this particular weekend was the beginning of March 2018, and I had a lot of bills to pay, rent and other things that you have to pay at the beginning of the month. So I thought, oh, do I take a risk and go to this dinner, or what do I do? But I thought, what's more important, the money or the loneliness? So actually, the loneliness was really... Yeah, that's the thing with Britney Spears. My loneliness is killing me. Yeah, it was so bad, this loneliness. So I decided to go along for the meal, and it was a really great experience. And when it was over, they were all going to go for cocktails, and someone said to me, oh, you're coming for cocktails? I was like, I don't have any more money left. And he goes, oh, I'll get you a cocktail. I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I went along, had a mocktail, because I don't drink alcohol. And then on the way home, it was raining so badly, and I had to walk all the way in the rain. I didn't have an umbrella, didn't have a hood, so I was soaking wet, and I couldn't afford an umbrella, and I couldn't afford to get a taxi. So that was a real wake-up call for me, in terms of connecting with, my situation and thinking, wow, I cannot go on like this. Something has to change. The next day, I went to the beach, and I sat on the shore and just watched these really rough waves, and I was feeling so sorry for myself. I was thinking something has to change. I'm not really sure what. And I was consumed by thoughts of self-doubt. When I went back home, I started to Google self-help content. I don't even remember what I was looking for exactly, but I came across the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which I've often talked about on here, which is the book that changed my life. And at this time, I had been a sexpert for 9 years, and I was always more focused on, let's say, sexual pleasure and destigmatizing pleasure and overcoming taboo and shame and things like that, which have been, are blocks to pleasure and intimacy, especially among women. So I wanted to encourage women, still do, to prioritize their pleasure. But then I discovered something which was even more powerful than pleasure, and that was in the book Think and Grow Rich. There is a chapter called The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. And I was thinking, this is the best-selling book of success of all time. Why is there a chapter on sexuality? I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And as this book was published in 1937, of course, Napoleon Hill couldn't go into too much detail about what this actually meant in practical terms. But in a more ambiguous term, sexual transmutation is when you transmute the desire for sexual activity into another type of activity. So let's imagine you are having some arousal, thoughts of arousal, and desire is consuming your body. You start to notice some arousal. Instead of indulging in something sexual like masturbation or even sex with a partner, you might want to do another action instead, such as writing your book or doing sport, something that is aligned with a non-sexual goal in life, so that your sexual energy is being directed towards that goal. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I thought it was it was eye-opening, because at the time I thought I knew a lot about sexuality. Of course I did, but sexuality is a really vast topic. And I felt like it was, let's say sexuality is a house that I knew very well. And all of a sudden in this house that was very familiar to me, I discovered this hidden door, and I was like, oh my God, there's a whole new room here. And that's what it was like for me when I discovered the Mystery of Sex Transmutation. But at the same time, even though this was a positive discovery, I thought this is a type of orgasm denial. There is something that's kind of, there's no sexual activity and there's no sexual outlet, no orgasm. So as someone who was, my main job still is reviewing sex toys, so orgasm is a big part of my life. I wanted to see if there was a way to not deny my orgasm, and could I actually harness this energy in a way that wasn't denying my orgasm. So I was searching for using terms like sexual energy manifestation, and that's when I came across a video called how to manifest with orgasm, or something like that, and it was by Teal Swan. So this video, I can't remember exactly what she said in it, but I was really blown away by it. And so it was about, having an intention at the time of orgasm. And I was thinking, oh my God, tomorrow I'm starting. So when I started this practice, it was a Sunday, and I was thinking about avocados and cashews, because at the time, avocados is about €2 an avocado. A bag of cashews could be €3-4 depending on the quality. So these are not cheap ingredients if you want to make a salad. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I just love cashews and avocados. And that was a really cool thing, because as I thought of those things, I was salivating, imagining the texture of both things in my mouth, because I'm such a salad lover. And then, so I did my first ever sex magic, which is kind of weird thinking about avocados and cashews as you are indulging in self-love. But then the day after, I checked my bank account, and this invoice that I'd completely forgotten about, the payment landed in my account. So all of a sudden my money worries for temporarily were over, and I thought, oh yeah, I can pay all of these things, and I can go to the supermarket and get my cashews and avocados, which is exactly what I did. And I made this incredible salad, and I was so encouraged by this fast manifestation that I thought, okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of the month of March. So I had orgasms in the morning, orgasms in the evening, really focusing on collaborations and growth. And at the time I had about 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. And this is really important because, if you're, doing sponsored reviews, having, views and subscribers is really important. So I was really trying to, grow my channel and have more collaborations and bring, more subscribers, more traffic. So those were my goals. I was imagining graphs going up, like exponential growth almost. So I was really concentrating on these different goals, growth and collaborations, very work related. And in my mind, I had a lot of moving parts. I wasn't just thinking about the erotic trigger that's going to get me to orgasm, which is what it was like before discovering this. Because then it all shifted. I was thinking more about my non-sexual goals and how I could integrate them into my practice. And I have a lot of books on sex magic here. They're all on this shelf, actually. So I really did a lot of research about this topic. And there are many different techniques, but a lot of them are, let's say, setting an intention before, then you have your normal stimulation practice, and then go back to the intention just at the moment of orgasm. But for me, as someone who has a very active imagination, I wanted to really see if I could leverage my imagination and have the thing I wanted to integrate that somehow in my fantasy. And as such, I have a whole chapter in this book called Eroticize Your Desire, which is all about how to do this. And I think it actually gives you a lot more, let's say, emotion behind that desire. For example, this apartment, I was imagining I was in this new apartment and I was receiving cunnilingus with a skilled lover, walking barefoot on the parquet floor, things like that, kind of sensorial details, but also with a bit of eroticism in there as well. So as this was all happening in my head, my practice of self-love took a lot longer because there were so many things happening. And I was really, so over the last few years, I've been reading books on this, and I've actually, I've had so much success. I've actually been living a level of comfort I never imagined I could have, because I do think that there are many ways to manifest, and this method is one of many. For example, other ways could be, law of attraction or affirmations or journaling. There's so many ways to manifest, and at the core of manifestation, I think it's about your mindset, and do you believe that you deserve the thing that you want? And I actually came up with this Venn diagram process here in the book, and it came to me in a vision. And let me see where it is, because I do think there is here it is. It's kind of a Venn diagram. So here we have the base, or the first step of manifestation is mindset, then intention, then action, then surrender, then detachment, then trust. But in the middle of this, we have alignment. So I think that there are many ways to achieve or to go through the manifestation process, and orgasmic manifestation is one of them. But also in this book, I have a whole section about enhancers, things that can enhance your practice, such as incorporating affirmations, listening to affirmations as you indulge in self-pleasure, or even using things like binaural beats, solfeggio frequencies, essential oils, or even crystals, or lunar cycles as well. So there is no book about this topic quite like mine. This is all very personal, as well as some more common approaches to this. So yeah, here it is, Orgasmic Manifestation. I'm super proud of this book, and I am just really excited about how much it's not only helped myself but other people as well. And everyone that I have taught about this has had incredible results, sometimes results that are more impressive than my own, which does encourages me, but also makes me think, oh, I need to start thinking bigger, because at the end of the day, we will only achieve in our lives the things that we think that we deserve, which is another layer of complexity to the manifestation process, which I do talk about in here, things like self-concept and self-worth, etc. Yeah, so here it is, Orgasmic Manifestation. Transform your life with your sexual energy, and I'm going to leave a link below, and I want you to buy it. Please buy it, and if you do buy it and love it, please leave me a review on Amazon. That would be super cool. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy this moment and just look at all the books, and hopefully I won't find any spelling mistakes. Although there might not be a spelling mistake, but there could be other things. So yeah, a bit nervous about this, but anyway, here we are. Thank you for sharing this very special moment with me, and I hope you are encouraged to look into this practice and maybe buy my book. Thanks for watching, and see you soon with some more videos. Mwah.